Welcome. Welcome back. What a morning it is. What a crazy, crazy move we got going on here on Meta. Wild. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Morning, Chef. Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. That's right. Happy Friday. I actually set up the OBS for the gaming yesterday, so we're working towards it. I look younger. Thanks. Appreciate that. I can't see how many people are a little sometimes weird on the YouTube side this morning, so hopefully everything looks all right on your end. YouTube's always a little bit questionable at times. Just signed up. How to get in Discord? It's all pretty self-explanatory, man. Once you sign up, you get direct access to it. All on WAP. Tarkov? I was watching Doc play it a little bit last night, but I don't know, man. That game's a little too slow for me. You have a meta call margin? Oh, shit. Yeah, I mean, it's going to probably be a pretty good morning for you, margin. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I mean, meta definitely is one that you say, maybe I could have put a little bit of YOLO money on it, right? I don't know what it's going to be called or what it's going to be worth, man. You got the 445 strike. I mean, you can calculate it, but there's going to be a lot of IV expansion, so it's going to be hard to know exactly what it's going to be, but that's going to be, I mean, that's almost $15 in the money, so it's going to be at least, what expiration is it? I mean, it's going to be at least worth $15, right? Once you go in the money, it's dollar for dollar. So, I mean, it's going to be at least worth $1,500. So that could be $57 in the $1,500 right there, margin. That's going to be a big one. I mean, at the minimum, it's right. It's a dollar for every over the strike price. It's dollar for dollar. So minus your strike price from the current price, that's about 15, a little bit more than that, about 20 almost right now. So 20 times 20 is 2,000. Yeah, it's going to be close to that. Should be around there. I don't know exactly, but rough estimation, that's about it. I'm sure some of you guys are. I have a buddy, you guys probably know him. I have a buddy, Larry. He can calculate option prices off the top of his head. It's pretty wild. He's very good at it. I mean, IV's fine. The IV's not a problem if it's beating expected move. So it's well past the expected move. Contracts will be flying. Everything will be thousands of percent up. This is a major beat on Meta. Major. I think the expected move is $20. Which would be around $420. This is $70 higher, about. So it's about a 3x on the expected move. So yeah, congratulations to you Meta holders. Congratulations to anyone that puts some money on Meta earnings. Once in a while, you get a big one like this. So just know that you continue to do this. Eventually, it's a losing game, but if you catch one like Meta, congratulations. That's all you could say, right? Congratulations. All right. So welcome back, guys. Hope you guys are having a good morning. Hope you had a good week so far. Hopefully, everything you're learning, you're gaining experience. That's really the key. Today is Friday. It's a pretty interesting day. You got big upside on Meta, some big upside on Amazon. A little bit of drama still on Apple over there, but Apple is sitting at a pretty key level to be watching. So some interesting stuff. So let's jump right into it. Let's do it. So first things first, economic calendar. There's Meta. There's Meta on the chart for you. Here is the economic calendar today, Friday. Average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate 8:30. So we will see that in about 24 minutes. At 10 o'clock today, you got consumer sentiment, and that is about the end of our week. I get it. Why not? It's $57. Why not? I get it. Sunday, Federal Reserve Chair Powell speaks Sunday, I guess. Powell speaking on Sunday. If you guys are interested in listening to him speak on a Sunday, I sure as hell am not. But that's that. Next week, not much. Some bond auctions. Pretty light next week, actually. 30-year bond, 10-year bond, something to watch there. But pretty light next week on the economic side. It looks like we've survived the major economic week this week. We got a few things to watch this morning at 8:30, and that's about it. All right. On the earnings side, pretty much done with the earnings this week, guys. We have Exxon, Chevron, and AbbVie reporting today, so nothing too major there. Next week, we can go ahead and pull up what we have reporting earnings next week. Let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. I think I have that somewhere here. 1 second. Let me go ahead and find it. I have like the entire month somewhere, or the entire pretty much next few months. Somewhere in here. 1 second. There it is. All right, hold on. All right, here's the entire calendar here. So next week, looks like we're looking at, Monday, Palantir, McDonald's. Next week, we got Ford, Eli Lilly, Snapchat, Chipotle, PayPal, Walt Disney, Cloudflare, PepsiCo. That's pretty much it. So you've pretty much gotten the major week out of the way, right? This is really the major week right here that we have seen this week with all the big boys like AMD, like Alphabet, like Microsoft, like Apple, Meta, right? Some big boys there. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, let's jump into the charts. Let's get it started. Let's go to the Nasdaq. And so the Nasdaq, very nice hold at that 20 SMA area yesterday, right around that 17,250. So you guys can see right here, we came back down to that sort of 17,250 demand we were talking about. Didn't quite get back to that 160, but held that 250 all day yesterday, right? And then you can see big push on the earnings moves, and we are right back in the thick of it. So nice pullback right to that 20. Beautiful long opportunity. Congratulations to anyone that took that. We got over the 450 supply, right? We had that supply there. We got above that. So we are now back over these lows, back above these lows, back above these highs. That's going to be a very key level to watch. So any pullback from here, that's a nice little opportunity, right? Now, right, on pullbacks, you look for this to turn into support. So now, any extended pullback I see, I'll definitely be watching 450 as a potential demand area for potential longs. If we break this down in the on a shorter term time frame, right, we can see sort of the range that is being created this morning on the Nasdaq futures. Looks like we have about that 570 demand, right, and that 640 supply. So between here, right, and here, looks like we have created somewhat of a morning channel, which I actually like seeing this, right? This creates a very clear picture today when you get these morning channels on the Nasdaq futures on anything, right? Because all we're looking for today is either, right, we're either looking for this or we're looking for this, right? So this makes it very easy for us. We are looking for, which side of this channel we break out above or below. Now, if we trade between it, probably not the best trading day. But I would assume I have a decent intuition that we're probably going to see a move today. So I would like to see either a break above this 640 or a break below this 570. This 570 level is a previous level. If I go down to the 15-minute chart, we can see, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to go 30-minute, get a little bit more time here. This 570 level that we are holding above right now in the pre-market is actually a previous level, right? We can see right here, previous highs, previous lows. We have some highs here. We have that low right here. And you can see this morning, we're holding above that zone. So that 17,570 level looking like a pretty decent demand to start the morning, something to watch. The supply above, right, as of right now, is these highs here, and that little breakdown point here. That's right here around that 640. So we definitely are consolidating in between two major levels, right? We have 570, we have 640, and what we're looking for today is a break of either side, right? We get the break of the upside. We look for that hold above 640 for upside towards this 750. We break under this at 570. We look for that pullback long opportunity, probably back towards these demand lows. And then I would look to see if this sets something up here. Now, after this type of move, is it that bad to see a pullback? Absolutely not, right? Would this make sense to get a pullback to 450? Probably, right? We give back this straight up move, retrace a little bit. For the fib boys, that would be a nice clean 50% retracement from the lows here. If we do get that back to that 450, that's a nice 50% fib retracement. That could be another fantastic long opportunity back down there if we do get a pullback. We'll see if we get it. There's no guarantee that we do get that pullback today. But if we do, don't be scared to think that, this could be a potential new long opportunity back above some of these lows that were created previously. So 450, big watch there. 570 and 640, that's sort of your morning range to watch out for. And then to the upside, we have that 750 and that 800 above. So pretty clear levels today, right? We're really just looking to see. I would probably agree with you, Brandon. It's possible with the strength of this move, it is a little bit questionable whether you really do get that clean pullback today. Maybe it's something next week. But if we see it, right, we want to be prepared for it. So I would say 570 to 640 is likely where you're going to see most of the action today. And then if you see a break above, if you see a break below, take that action, right? So pretty clear. Nasdaq futures. Let's go to QQQ. QQQ, nice hold of our 416, 417 level. That's right near that 20 SMA. That's sort of coming up in matching price action. We're above that 421, 422 level. Right, so yesterday we had that as our supply, but you can see in the after hours we ripped right above it, right? We ripped through it on major Meta, major Amazon earnings, and now any pullback to this level is a nice possible long opportunity. So any pullback to these previous lows, right? These previous lows, these highs here, is now a beautiful potential long opportunity. Once again, that is for the fib boys, probably about a 50% retracement, right? So if we do get this pullback, guys, do not, start shorting into this. This is not a short, obviously there's short-term short opportunities. There always is everywhere on the market. Every day there is. But, when you zoom out and you look at the bigger picture, now, for me, more than anything, this is really where I want to look for that next new long, right? Back at this 422, 421. That's if we get that. Now, if we don't get that, it looks like to me that you're holding above this little 425.50 area today. That is some previous highs here, some previous highs here, some previous lows here. That looks to be where the QQQ is trying to maintain above right now in the pre-market, right? Pretty clear right there. To the upside, it looks like it's this 427 level. 427 looks to be a pretty tough level this morning. Let's go ahead and put our red zone there just to make sure we have that marked out. And then let's go down to the shorter term time frames. Right, you can see in the morning here, we're pretty much stuck between this 425.50 and this 427, right? Right in between there. Right there, right? We're sort of stuck right in that range. So what are we looking for? Ideally, right, we'd like to see a break and hold above, break and hold below for those really nice, continuation moves. Trading in here could get a little bit choppy, and it's probably your best bet, right, to wait for one of those sides to break today if you want to get a real juicy trade. If we do break above that 427 today, right, I'd assume the QQQ goes for the highs, right? If we do break and hold above that 427 today, I'd assume that the QQQ is going to go ahead and target some of these previous highs right around that 429, 430, okay? So pretty clear levels today. 425.50, you got the major demand down here, which would be an interesting long opportunity, right? You got that 427 short-term supply stepping up this morning. And then, of course, you got the major highs up here around 429, 430. So we'll see if we get some breaks outside of this morning range. I think that's going to be your key, right? Do we get a break outside of this morning range today? If we do, where's the continuation come in? All right, let's go to the ES. So the ES is doing something very interesting today. Look at this 49.50 hold stepping in this morning. But before we jump into that, let's talk a little bit about what happened previously. We saw that pullback on FOMC, right? We saw that pullback right to our 48.73 demand. Low, right? Low, and it held all day yesterday. What a beast of a level down there. And we can see, right, that 20 SMA is sort of catching up to price action and is sort of protecting the downside, so to say. 4,900 was a beautiful break and retest yesterday. I don't think it could have gotten any clearer on the intraday yesterday, guys. I mean, look at this beauty on the ES yesterday. It really does not get much more clear than a previous rejection at 4,900 turning into a triple bottom low intraday, right? That's break and retest in all its glory right there, right? Key level, 4,900, psychological level, major level in the market, early morning rejection at that level, right? We traded that downside. And then after we had that hold again of demand, we popped back higher and turned that 4,900 back into support. Beautiful support. And from there, the rest is history. So that little 4,900 hold intraday yesterday was a really beautiful sight, right? That is just a perfect hold over that previous rejection yesterday. Really nice opportunity there. I know some of you guys caught this one. You were sort of messaging me on Twitter and everywhere, Instagram, saying, damn, I caught this 4,900 break and retest, so congratulations to you guys on that one. Then monster rip after that. Now, today, right, we can see sort of this. I know the previous highs were sort of like up here around this 49.57. We can sort of see that. But I think there's some merit to this 49.50 level that's stepping in this morning on the ES, right? Look at this pre-market action and look at where it's just sort of basing, right? Look at where it's just sort of basing here, right? 49.50, 49.50, 49.50, 49.50, right? That exact level just sort of maintaining right above it, this pre-market. So if you pull back to this, look for that long, right? Look to see if this steps up again, right? Look to see if that steps up again at 49.50 and potentially a nice long opportunity. If we break under 49.50 today, right, and you start to see some rejections there, I'm assuming you're going to step back to this 49.30, which is your next new long opportunity on a nice, a little decent pullback. All right, if we go to the 30-minute chart, guys, this could be a sexy long. All right, if we get a little pullback today, see this? You see that? You see all this, right? What is that? That's 49.30, 49.33. If you can get that, this could be where you really want to set up that opportunity today on a little bit of a pullback, right? So I like that 49.30, 49.33 level a lot today. That could be really interesting long. You know, that could be where you get some shorts a little bit too excited under 50 and then just sort of squeeze this thing back over 30 or off of 30. That could be an interesting spot to watch. So definitely watching 49.30 today, 49.33. Of course, we have that 4,900 hold. This 49.50 level, if the market doesn't want to pull back today, right, if we just get that brute strength and this thing just rallies today, it's probably going to be off of 49.50, right? If we just, if we don't see any type of give back today and it's just one of those it's one of those moves where this thing just rallies, I'd probably say it comes off this 49.50 level and we get that push higher. So 49.50, 49.30, 33, 4,900, some nice levels below. Keep an eye on those pullbacks if we get them and look for those longs. At this point, I know it's sort of just a guess, to be honest. I have no analysis behind this, but if we continue to hold these levels, guys, if we continue to find these pullback longs, I'm going to assume the ES is targeting that 5,000 level, right? That's going to be my assumption. 5,000, bright and shiny up there, probably a magnet for the ES, and I would not be surprised to see the ES try to reach that 5,000 at some point here in the near future, but we'll have to see, how these levels hold up. We'll have to see if we can get some clear holds at this 50 and at this 30.33. Okay? SPY, pretty much the same thing, and the SPY is actually even cleaner than the ES today because look at this, right? This is the SPY previous highs. It's clear as can be, and look at what it's doing this morning, right? The SPY is turning this previous major high into a very clear low this morning. All right, that's probably the easiest thing that you could read today is just saying to yourself, hey, if this SPY is over these previous highs, right, if we're just going to maintain over these previous highs and we're going to turn this into a new support, this could be, the long opportunity that I look for today off this 491, 491.50 area, right? That's pretty nice. That's pretty clear. If you break under that, right, that 491, 491.50 area, you're coming back down to here, which is probably, right, once again, one of the better long opportunities. If you get this pullback, see this start to hold, right, this 489 area, that could be very interesting as well. Okay, so 491, I have it around 491.40. It's this whole zone, right? You could put it at 50, 491.50. Is probably the exact level, but you could even be back towards 491, right in here. It could be this whole 491 to 491.50 area, in my opinion. So I would watch that whole area today, see if there's a willingness to hold, right? This is what it takes, your intraday monitoring of price action, right? You have to monitor price action here today, see if this maintains. If it does, I think that's a great potential long. If it doesn't look strong here and you start to get a little bit of weakness, right, I'd assume you're going to trade back into that 489 area, which is then, again, another interesting opportunity to go long on a retest of these previous highs. Okay? All right. Let's go to the Mike Jones, the Dow Jones, the Daniel Jones. That's pretty. That's pretty. That's pretty right there. Look at that. All right, previous highs, new lows. Pretty perfect there on the Dow Jones. You can see that 38,250 level, pretty much perfection there on that hold. Looks like the highs are around that 38.7. I would just look to see if we can hold above these highs, really, guys, on the Dow Jones. IWM held that 50 SMA very nicely. Let's go out to the 4-hour chart here. We'll go back to the hour and get a little bit more time. We can see the IWM held pretty strong back down at that 50 SMA yesterday, right here around that 192 area, right? We can see previous holds, another hold yesterday, right at that level. You still need to get, for me, above 200, right? You still need to get above 200, but it looks like the IWM is starting to find, a little bit of a consolidation range. I would almost just look at it like this, guys, to be quite honest. I'd look at it like 200 to 192. All right, that's sort of how I would look at the IWM. You got a lot of consolidation in this zone here. I'd probably wait for over 200 for a real upside move on the small caps. All right. It is 8:25. I don't know how many people are here, and I don't know how many likes are on the stream because it's not showing me that today. But if you guys could be so kind, if you've enjoyed the week, if you've found value from coming to the live streams, it would be awesome for you to press that like button. I'd love that. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to take a sip of water. No, it's not a Stanley. Okay, it's a Yeti. Thank you for the likes. Press that like button. Subscribe. Let's jump into... we got a few things to jump into before 8:30. So let's just jump right into it. Let's go to Tesla. Right, I'm not trying to be here all day. It's Friday. I prefer a shorter stream. Yeah, it's time to enjoy the weekend, man. So let's go to Tesla. Tesla, very interesting down here, right? You know, part of me wants to just buy some shares down here and just have a stop under 180. It could be worth it, right? And this is one of those times. And it's one of those times for Tesla where you gotta sort of decide, you know, what do you feel? What's your opinion? And you gotta trust your opinion here, guys, because whatever I say, whatever your friend says, whatever your grandpa says, your dad says, whoever, right? It really doesn't matter. And so I don't think it's a terrible idea to maybe pick up some shares down here around 180. That's what I'm doing. The last 2 weeks, I bought in about $1,000 worth of shares on Tesla. I'm going to pick up some shares down here at 180. I could be wrong in the short term. I could be wrong fully in the long term. But I don't mind a little 180 dip buy here on Tesla. It's holding decent. There's still a lot of concerns about Tesla. It still seems very weak. It does not feel very strong at all. So I definitely am here a little bit early, right? I definitely understand that me buying shares here could be very early. But an interesting opportunity, I think, right? An interesting opportunity. Pick up some shares. Nothing that's going to break the bank, but, grab maybe 10 shares, maybe grab, 5, 10 shares, and just sort of average down a little bit on some positions. September, thank you for the $10 donation. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But an interesting sort of maintain on Tesla so far. I could see sort of this downtrending sort of flag action occurring here on Tesla. But overall, guys, every push on Tesla still looks extremely weak. Extremely weak, right? Every push just sort of gets sold into. Every push gets sold into. And it seems like that's still the reoccurring theme here. So I'd be careful, right? If you can't withstand some drawdown, I'd be careful buying Tesla now because it definitely is still weak. It's definitely still the weakest on the market, for sure. You can see it in the price action. It's one of the weakest big names. So 187 looks pretty big, right? We can see how it's been holding this 187 level. Let me make this green. This 187 level has pretty nicely held on for now. You can also see that 184 level holding pretty well. And then, of course, you got the big boy 180 down below. Still looks tough under 192. Still is obviously going to be tough under 196 and, of course, 200. So some pretty heavy levels above still, right? And still could hold this thing down. If we go out to a longer-term time frame, let's say we go out to like the weekly. Let me get some more time here. We can go out to the weekly, get a bigger picture look at this. In the big picture, guys, to be honest, right, Tesla really has not performed great, right? Everyone's sort of, I think that sort of feeling that Tesla is, it's been a crazy great stock for investors. I mean, it has been if you bought it, back in 2020, 2021, right? If you bought it back here, then yeah, sure. But if you bought it pretty much at any point between, you had to buy it in 2020. If you were a buyer in 2020, then yeah, you're up nicely on it. But if you were a buyer at any point since 2021, you're really not up at all, right? So an interesting watch, right? And interesting to see what happens here on Tesla. But this 180 level is massive. So if it breaks 180, right, things could get a little bit concerning. But yeah, 180, right? And you got to wait to see, sort of what happens here at this 187, 184, and 180. Employment numbers out. Let's see. All right, this could be good. This could be good. This could be good, right? This is that drop you want, the horny bears. This could be horny bear syndrome, okay? All right, this could be exactly what you want to be long today. I know everyone, oh my God, market's falling. Oh my God, right? No, that's not what this is. This is the exact opposite. This is what you want to happen, right? Right? This is, you want this to pull back here, right? You want it to come down to this level. If it doesn't hold this level, then yeah, sure, it's a little bit more concerning for upside. I'd want to see it hold around that 49.30 area, right? These previous highs. If we go to the Nasdaq, right, we want it to be back down, I think. Well, we don't want to look at it like that. I think we want it to be down here, right? That's where I want the Nasdaq to come back down to for actually some interesting opportunities. Because I'm not going to, it's better, in my eyes, it's better to be long back at these demands than it is to be chasing upside straight out of the pre-market move. So I don't mind this, right? Let's see. Let's see if we get that pullback. Let's see what happens at this 450. Of course, if we break under this, then it gets a little concerning, right? Of course, it gets a little bit, not as interesting on longs. But this is the level I want to see hold, sort of this 450, 420 area on that NASDAQ. This could actually be what you want to see. All right, this could be what you want to see. You just got a wick right off that 33 level. So let's see. All right, let's see. Could be actually an opportunity if we can start to maintain some of these demands. We'll relook at it in a few minutes here when we jump through some stocks. What was the actual numbers? Let's see. Average hourly earnings, 0.6 versus 0.3. Unemployment rate, 3.7 versus 3.8. Pretty much flat. Non-farm payrolls, big increase on non-farm payrolls. Okay. Markets reacting slightly negative now, giving back some of the craziness from the after hours. You're still well above yesterday's highs. Okay. You're still well above yesterday's highs. So be aware of that. All right. So that's Tesla. We talked about that 187. We'll see what happens. I've been buying some shares, not with any type of short-term expectations. But 180 is going to be a big one. All right, let's go to Nvidia. What did we talk about on Nvidia yesterday? What did we talk about on Nvidia yesterday? That damn 618 level. And I am just a little bit salty that I did not pick up some more calls off this level yesterday. I just sort of had that morning trade on the SPY, and I just, this is sometimes what happens in trading, which I think is a very good thing, right? Wednesday was a shit show of a day for me, right? It was a shit show of a day. I was trading for way too long. I was sitting in front of my computer until like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I took a break in between for lunch, but I was pretty much in this office all day. And I did not like that. I hated it. And so the next day, which was yesterday, I said, I'm taking one trade today. I'm taking 1 or 2 trades, and I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm not sitting in this office. I'm getting outside, and I'm not going to care about what happens later in the day. Now, with that, right, you're going to miss opportunities that could present themselves later in the day. And here's a perfect example of that on Nvidia, right? We talked very precisely about longing Nvidia yesterday off 618. And that is literally exactly what happened. So Nvidia pretty much maintained 618 all morning. And then eventually, once the market sort of heated up, sort of late afternoon, this thing just absolutely took off. So huge push on Nvidia off 618. Perfection on that level. 634, you guys can see right here. 634, that's my level to look for a pullback to, right? 634 right there. If we can get a pullback to 634, that would be an awesome opportunity today. That is a pullback to the previous highs. That would be a break and a retest of that level. And that could be an awesome new long opportunity right at that 634. If we get under 634, then we're watching this 628. Okay? So 634, 628, but 634 could be beauty. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can get that pullback today to 634. All right. AMD. Little bit of struggle up here on AMD. Little bit of struggle around this 174.50 level. This is going to be a big level that you're going to have to break above, right? 174.50, 174.50, 174.50, and you can see it right here. Getting a little bit stuck here in the pre-market. Where do you want to see AMD pullback too. This is probably one of the cleanest potential opportunities here. A very interesting structure being built here, in my opinion. And remember those shares I bought on AMD yesterday? Or on Wednesday after earnings? Yeah, those did well. But anyways, AMD, 174.50, right there. Where do you want to pull back? Right here, guys. Absolutely. That could be a very pretty pullback right here to 170. Get that pullback to here. See if this holds. See if this sets up a nice new long opportunity. This is a potential nice structure to the upside, right? This is how the market moves. So what we want to see now is that pullback to 170 and then see if that maintains. That's where I would look for an opportunity on AMD today, back at 170. If we don't get that pullback to 170, then we have to see if this just breaks and holds above the highs, right? Breaks and holds above the highs. So watching 170 on AMD today, right? That's going to be my pullback level to keep an eye out for, back to that level, all right? Dollar's up. Yeah, dollar spiking on that news a little bit. What's the TNX at? TNX, okay, TNX sort of reversing. That could be a little bit bearish for us today. Overall, it's been pretty bullish for the market, the way the TNX has been dropping over the last, say week. But you're seeing a pretty decent little pop on the 10-year here, which could create some downside. Yeah, and if we start breaking through some of these levels, that pullback long doesn't work as well. We got to be careful there. I do think I want to see that ES hold this area to feel confident on a pullback long. Same as the Nasdaq, right? If we start breaking under these levels, guys, right, we have to readjust our thought process. If we start breaking under these demands and we don't see any willingness to hold here, and we start seeing this, that's a different story there. So we'll have to see how this develops. Let's go to, we did Tesla, we did Nvidia, we did AMD. Let's go to Meta. Let's just go to Meta. Let's do it. Elephant in the room. I mean, man, oh man. Like, this move just totally makes everything that happened previously look like nothing, right? Look at the scale of this chart now because of this move. That's how big this move is. It's monstrous. This is a 17% move on a major stock like Meta. That's pretty big. So in the short term, right? In the short term, we're looking at 454 and I think 450. I think those are the two areas that I would consider if there's a pullback to see if there's a new opportunity for an entry to the upside, right? If we get a pullback to 454 or to 450, right, those would be two levels that I'd be interested in to see if we hold and if there's a new opportunity to the upside. If Meta falls under 450, I am not that interested in the upside, right? If we fall back under this little consolidation from the after hours and we start seeing this break under, I'm not going to be interested in longing anywhere in this area. So for me, right, I would probably want to see that 450 hold today. If you don't hold this 450 today, then there could be a little bit of drama underneath it. So let's watch that 450. Let's watch that 454. I think those are the two very short-term levels you could watch. But again, guys, right, you need to understand, these are very short-term levels. These are not built off of major previous daily chart levels, major previous 4-hour levels from a month ago, a couple weeks ago, a year ago, right? This is just yesterday type of levels, right? So I'm not as confident in these levels if it's just a little 450, 454 area. I'll watch them, but, not going to be going crazy off these levels, trusting them with all kinds of money. But they are decent watches up here from the after-hour action, all right? So let's keep an eye on that. It's called Demo Pro, guys. How I draw these tools, it's called Demo Pro. All right, Google. So interesting here, all right? We can very clearly see that Google is now stuck under this 146 level. It's stuck under the 20 SMA. However, it is also maintaining this 141 area pretty nicely, and that's the 50 SMA. So right now, Google is pretty much sandwiched between the 20 and the 50 SMA, right? We are sandwiched between that 50 and that 20 SMA. For now, it's probably going to be a pretty messy trade. But at some point, if Google can get above or below these levels, I would assume there's something to watch here. So what I would personally do, guys, is just create some alerts at or above, right? And then you can create one here, at or below, and I would just do nothing until one of these hits, right? That's how I would trade Google. Wait for one of these to hit, see if we can get an extension on the upside or downside of the channel, and then see if there's opportunity there. That's what I would do. Amazon. So a little bit of a short-term level to watch here on Amazon, I believe. You can see right here, there is a nice little base forming in the pre-market right in this 169 area. You guys can see right here, 169, 169, 169, 169. So do we hold this little area here today on Amazon? If we do, is there a long off this level? So I'm watching this one today around this 168, 169. And then, of course, you have these highs around that 174.50, 175. All right. So that's what I would be watching on Amazon. Interesting there. Microsoft. I don't really like Microsoft. I'm not really fond of what Microsoft has been up to. I can go to the 30-minute chart. You can see right here, 407. Pretty interesting level there, but I don't know. I'm not too fond of this Microsoft chart. I haven't really been seeing much clarity in these levels. This one was pretty nice around this 403, but I would say watch 407 today. If we can hold above 407, that is definitely something that I would watch on Microsoft here today. 407. All right. Netflix. Yeah, Netflix is rejecting 570. Netflix is sort of rejecting 570. So I don't love that. All right, I'd want to see Netflix above 570, all right, to get some opportunities to the upside. So right here, you can see 570. You do have that 560 demand still stepping in. But I really want to see Netflix get above this 570 to feel confident in the upside continuation. 570 on Netflix. What else? Let's see here. Let's see if we can get anything else. Nvidia, AMD we went, Tesla we went, Apple. Oh, we didn't go Apple. We'll go Apple. We'll go Apple, SMCI. Apple, here's, I would just say watch 180. That's all I'd say on Apple. Watch 180 on Apple. See if that can maintain. That's going to be a major level on Apple. That's my main watch today. Just keep an eye and see, hey, does Apple hold 180? And then finally, guys, SMCI. You need a pullback right here. You need a pullback to 565. Pullback to 565, I think, is your opportunity on SMCI. SMCI has made some very nice price action moves lately, right? 522, 550, that 494. Look at how clean this has sort of been moving in between these levels. So today, what I would look for in SMCI is a pullback to 565 right there. 565, very interesting right there. Guys, I just went over Google. I literally just went over it. So 565 SMCI, 550, and that 522. I would look for this as the next long right there. That would be my next long right there on SMCI, 565. Snow, yeah, you got to go over this high, this 210, right? You can see right there. What do you look for? Break and retest, right? That's what we're looking for there. We're not getting it yet, so be careful. If you get a pullback, it's back to 200. And if you get over it, it's back over 210.50. So 210.50, right? And then that 200 are the two areas that I would watch. You got to get over these highs on Snow before you can start longing this. Oh, the thing's starting to talk for itself. Look at the thing on the left. Oh my God. Look, oh my God. Oh my God. Press the like button. Press the white button. Oh. Stop. What do I press to make that stop? It's still going. can't talk. Apple. God damn it. All right. I can't type anything into this damn symbol because I'm going to have to use this. What the hell is that, man? How do I get that off? Why is it doing that? I don't know how you do it. I don't know what I pressed, but it just does it sometimes. We went over pretty much everything. We can go over Boeing real quick. All right, there's Boeing. I'm going to have to you're just going to see it copying what I talk about on the top. Yeah, Alt F4. Oh, nice. Nice. It's not Alt F4. So Boeing is all about this 208, right? We got to see if Boeing can hold this 208. That's a big one up there. But the supply above, right, or below, the supply above is still that 217, right? 217 is just still very heavy, right? It's still very heavy. So I would be careful on longing Boeing into 217. That's a big-ass level up there. Let's quickly go into the futures, and then we're going to get the hell out of here, guys. We're going to go into the futures one more time, review it one more time, and then let's move out. Let's assemble, and let's get out, and let's have a good weekend. So 17,450, okay? That looks to be my level, right? 17,450, I want that pullback today. That would be great. Let's get that pullback to 17,450 today. You're under that supply, so now, right, looking at this chart, you have to be careful again now, guys, of longing into this high. All right, so really, I would want this to be long today. And the same thing on the ES. I would want to see if we can hold this 49.30. All right? All right, guys, I'm going to head out. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. It's Friday. Let's make it quick. Let's make it easy. Let's find one good trade of the day. Let's close this week strong, and let's move on to next week. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next week on Monday. Peace.